Twitch has had a wild fall from grace in 2023. And I know you're saying, wild fall from grace? It's not like they had much reputation to begin with, but with the ascendance of Kick snatching up all of their exclusive streamers and leaving the intellectual powerhouses like Pokimane shilling a bunch of overpriced cookies, calling everybody broke who can't afford them, saying that it was a joke, and then just walking all that stuff back, obviously. And then, you know, the likes of Hassan Abi that'll go ahead and praise the queen and keep on with that very strange and incestuous socialist network where they're praising capitalism at the same time. It's very interesting, but that's all that's left. That and a bunch of chicks trying to make a bag off of confusing a bunch of young kids. Like, what are we doing out here? But this has been Twitch for a long time. I'm old enough to remember back in the old Justin TV days. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. But when they switched over first to Twitch, it used to be an exclusive video game streaming platform. Okay, you have to, if you were gonna have a face cam, okay, this face cam that you see right here, you had to have a controller, and then you had to have gameplay. You had to have gameplay right there. Otherwise, you weren't allowed on the platform. But realizing that some of those, some chicks that don't really have any appreciable assets outside of their appreciable assets, they decided that, there's money being thrown around here. There's bits and subscriptions. Don't really know anything about that, but I own a lot of low-cut tops. I can make a bag off of this. Okay, so then he started to get those questionable streamers that were out there, and questionable in the fact that they would just simply hold a controller and their face screen would get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until somebody ended up pushing the envelope a little bit too far, and somebody reported them, was like, hey, she's just holding the controller, like she's not even playing games. Somebody off camera is playing games. Like, what are we doing here? They ended up getting banned, but then realizing that, wow, that person was driving a lot of money. Okay, like they were making this platform a lot of scratch. Should probably introduce this category called just chatting, and then from there, oh Lord have mercy, trends were coming in fast and furious. Okay, and now we've probably reached the apex where Twitch is going to have to start turning on certain safe search filters, because what they're doing right now is, it's beyond questionable, given the fact that, well, 13-year-olds are your prime demographics. Okay, to have in order to register for a Twitch account, you must be at least 13 years old. And I know in general, the Twitch audience skews, I do believe, below the age of 18. I think in general, in on and around that area. I know it's late teens, but I'm not entirely sure where it is. But whereas like YouTube, certain corners of YouTube, you're going to get like a late 20s, early 30s demographic. Twitch is a very young platform. And now what they're doing, giving leeway to these talentless thoughts that are just trying to secure a bag off of tricking younger kids. What are we doing here? What are we doing? So, banned streamer Morgpie, this is who we're going to be using as a vessel to have this discussion, blames Twitch for viral topless meta in exclusive interview. Now, there's probably a bunch of words that you don't, or at least aren't familiar with in this one. Meta? What are we talking about? Are we talking about the parent company of Facebook and Instagram? No. Most effective technique available. I think that it's an acronym, okay? Or at least it could be an acronym. It's the easiest thing that a bitch can do in order to secure a bag. Okay, we got that? Okay, basically, okay, because as we've seen, and as it's going to highlight here, he's been inundated with a variety of different metas over the years, from hot tub streamers, body painting. It's not unusual to see a creator hop on certain trends. Creators. Yeah, that's what we call basically those thoughts. Whatever Amaranth does. Okay, whatever Amaranth does. I just don't see anybody else signing up to get their own vagina beer, but, you know, the industry's still young on that one. To skirt the site's guidelines on nudity and sexual content. Yeah, because it's funny. It's funny how society, or at least all of the major companies that are out there, want to go ahead and cover up all the chicks. The ones that are actually making a bag online are showing as much skin as possible, flaunting the community guidelines in order to get away with this. And this is what we're getting right now with the topless meta. Now, they aren't exactly topless, okay? Like, she's not out there, you know, just hanging it all out for the public to see. No. That's just probably a couple of other clicks away with the links that she has in her bio. I would imagine, okay? That is not fully the case. On Twitch, at least, this strong-jawed individual is in fact a woman. I know, to several people's shock, No, what's being referred to as the topless meta is simply implied nudity. Now, Dawn, what do you mean by that? Well, she's wearing a halter top that basically covers her areolas. Just has the camera zoomed in so much where, yeah, you can see right to the top. So you can see the outline of the start of the titty, and then that's about it. Everything else is covered up. I'm not breaking terms of service. I'm not actually naked, but knowing the demographics of Twitch, you are performing for grade schoolers. Okay. While Twitch attempted to remedy these issues with hot tub streams by creating an entirely new category for such broadcasts, and then Kick's like, yeah, no, we'll monetize that, all of that stuff, because we have far more degenerate funding coming in from other avenues. So if you bitches want to go out there and just start stacking on top of each other and scantily, in very, very tiny bikinis, all scantily clad in a shower, you go for it, lady. And we'll give you a bag for that. Unbelievable. But yes, still over on Twitch, for such broadcasters, other meta has emerged on the website that sparked outrage across the platform. Yeah. On December 8th, Twitch streamer Morgpie went viral for seemingly streaming while topless, while her camera frame cutting off just above her décolletage. I've heard titties referred to in a bunch of different ways throughout my years. Décolletage? Décolletage. Okay, a low neckline. Huh. That's French. That's why I've never heard of it before, but you learn something every day. Very interesting. The broadcast sparked backlash across social media, stirring up conversation on ethics of streaming such content on Twitch, as well as the site's stance on banning streamers who take their broadcast too far. Which, you know what? I have an incredibly anti-censorship, probably further than most people that you watch, stance when it comes to this stuff, but knowing the demographics and knowing exactly what you're doing in order to try to get popularity, this is more than likely something that at least runs afoul of the terms of service. And I don't even like terms of service like that, at least at the time, but also knowing that, Twitch has banned creators, like, I mentioned her earlier, but Pokimane, prior to a planned vacation or something like that, she accidentally had a pasty titty pop out from underneath her sweater, caught a 3-day ban, which is so crazy on a Friday before her vacation, and then come back on with absolutely no consequences. Or that chick, I think I did a video on this, but there was this chick getting absolutely destroyed from the back. That ended up going viral, and then her to come back just a couple of days later with thousands more people checking out her channel beforehand, waiting for her to get unbanned, coming right back, and then getting banged out on camera right after that. Like, what the? Oh my god, you're basically incentivizing this behavior, and that's how we've ended up right here. So 3 days later, Morgpie was finally banned. Spoke to the streamer about her viral broadcast, the ethics of this new topless meta, and what she thinks Twitch is to blame for this entire ordeal. Well, yeah, of course, you flaunt the guidelines, and a woman taking responsibility for actions. Yeah, I might have taken it a little bit too far. Yeah, maybe spaghetti straps and, a lot of cleavage. I could have got away with that, but no. It's all Twitch's fault. And you know what? Twitch agrees. Twitch updates sexual content guidelines amid topless meta backlash. Yep, Twitch is never gonna learn. Over the weekend of December 8th, new Twitch meta gained popularity after streamer, cosplayer, and OnlyFans. I didn't even know, but I already knew. I already went viral on social media. I would love to see how many subscribers this chick had on OnlyFans prior to her banning compared to now. I would love to see those numbers, because this was a planned marketing stunt. You cannot convince me otherwise. So yes, Morgpie's stream showed the broadcaster seemingly topless, sparking outrage across the net as to what kind of content was allowed on Twitch. 3 days later, Morgpie was banned, but now Twitch has officially switched up its guidelines in relation to sexual content on its platform, making big changes for streamers. And we have, at least Degenerate breaks down all of the new changes. Okay, after Morgpie got banned, raised the big stink, and then Twitch is like, no, we need titty streamers around here. Don't worry about it. Twitch will now allow artistic nudity. What? Following the viral topless meta. Twitch updated their sexual content policy. Changes, certain content now allowed with labels. Okay. Artistic nudity, permitted under sexual themes label. Okay. Game nudity. Contextual. Labels necessary. Okay, well, the game nudity, okay, that could totally make sense, because being the old head that I am when it comes to video games, I seem to remember, at least in the first 3 God of War releases, there were, and still are, certain mini games that were maybe not fully on the up and up with certain TOS, but if you want to go ahead and give it a pass because it is video games, yeah, it totally makes sense. Body painting. Acceptable with appropriate label. Oh my God, like that was insufferable to begin with. Okay, you had chicks sitting in a chair, okay, with them titties just directly out in front of them, a couple of pasties on top, and then they would just go, okay, thanks for the subscribe, and they would just have a little, 1/4-inch paintbrush just dabbing on their tits. Meanwhile, the chat, there's like thousands of people in the chat, but that thing's moving at a snail's pace, so you know exactly what's going on, because it's tough to type with one hand. Mature games. Labeling generally covers content and stream visibility impacted by content labels. Very interesting. Very interesting. And then you end up with more specific things that you can and cannot do on the platform. Twerking, grinding, and pole dancing are now allowed without a label. Because yeah, a lot of those had the preface where, okay, all of this stuff can be done, but it's under certain labels. So kind of like what they were doing with the hot tub stuff, making its own little area for it. Yeah, you can self-report on all of this stuff, which these chicks are definitely not going to do, especially if it's going to affect their bottom line, because, well, they don't have any shame. They're just going to do whatever secures the biggest bag possible. But you can go ahead and twerk, grind, and pole dance however much you want on a gaming platform. Okay. Pole dances such as twerking, grinding, and pole dancing are now allowed without a label. Previously, some dances were prohibited and others were allowed with a label. That is absolutely wild, but it's not exclusive to Twitch, because YouTube, at the beginning of November, will now let breastfeeding and twerking videos be monetized. YouTube has actually, in this respect, been worse than Twitch for a long time, because if you want to go for it, and if you want to figure out what somebody's tonsils look like through their crotch, just look up a certain type of yoga. But that's all right, because that's instructional, and that's also what's passing, because, okay, cool. So now on YouTube, okay, if you end up getting too spicy for Twitch, you can come over and stream on YouTube if you want to perform breastfeeding. Now, okay, cool. What does that require? Okay, like if you're doing a breastfeeding stream, which is, oh my God, it's so degenerate. But okay, cool. Do you just have to have a baby in close proximity? Before you take the tit out, do you have to have the kid in your hand ready to go? Are you allowed to show areola? Like, what are we doing out here? But as for twerking and all this stuff, I heard about the story a while back. But no, you can just go ahead and, twerk, grind, do whatever you want. Full stop. Have fun with that one. But if I want to talk about, certain activities that certain 20-something-year-old teachers do, I end up getting demonetized to hell and back. But no. That would actually, actively impede the whims of women. But this time around, as you can see, man, all of this stuff, who does it benefit? Who does it benefit at the end of the day? Oh, exactly. Much like the rest of society, big tech will never, ever, ever do anything to impede or impinge on the rights or freedoms of women. And just like everything else that gets far too feminized, MCU looking directly at you, will eventually burn to the ground. But hey, don't worry. You get too spicy, you can just go over to Kick. Hell, you can be like XQC and stream the entirety of The Dark Knight for his fans. Oh my God. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone. But after thinking it over for a couple of days, not even a couple of days, a few hours, Twitch realized that they made a huge damn mistake. Take a look at this. Upon reflection, we have decided that we went too far with this change. Yeah, because the moment that you dropped it, all of these low-effort idiots that you call content creators over there on Twitch just decided, hey, instead of being entertaining, unique, providing actual value to people for 6, 8, 10, 12 hours. Screw it. I'm just going to draw a bunch of boobs. We're just going to go ahead and see what the inside of an asshole looks like. And hell, I'm just going to go ahead and redo my VTuber avatar to be completely goddamn naked. Well, that actually isn't as far as everything went. In fact, somebody decided to draw the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with a gigantic floppy fucking dick. So yeah, you ended up causing a whole bunch of problems. But as we're going to find here with the bit of an update, okay, I'll go ahead and read this here real quick. So effective today, we are rolling back the artistic nudity changes. Moving forward, depictions of real or fictional nudity won't be allowed on Twitch. Depictions of real or fictional nudity. Keep that in mind, regardless of the medium. This restriction does not apply to mature-rated games. Okay, so they didn't walk back all of their changes. That's the one that I pointed out. I was like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Instead of having to cut away if you're playing an early God of War or some of those weird cardboard cutout rubbing scenes from Mass Effect, okay, everything will all be fine and dandy there. You can find emote-specific standards for nudity and sexual content in the emote guidelines. We aren't making other changes to the updated sexual content policy. Interesting. We are in the process of pushing out updates to our community guidelines that reflect this change. Take a few days for both the blog and the new community guidelines to be translated. While I wish we would have predicted this outcome, how did you not figure that out? Okay, because you already took big steps in order to curtail the implied nudity meta that was developing on your platform. Hell, you guys moved a little bit quicker when it came to the hot tub stuff, and I know a lot of people have opined on this, and that's why I'm doing an update to this video and not just redoing everything that you've seen in the previous most of the video that was out there before, because basically all of my concerns with this still stand, because you take a look at still what's going on the front page of Twitch. Nothing has changed at all. I need to get that off the screen because, you know, for as much as you can get away with stuff over there on Twitch, YouTube still has some standards, but, you know, if somebody was breastfeeding, it would all be on the up and up. It's absolutely wild, the lengths to which these big tech corporations, society in general, will go ahead and coddle anything that a woman does, tell her that she's great, wonderful, fantastic, beautiful, amazing, unique, special, even though if we just go back there real quickly, see how many unique and special women are right up there. Yeah, you're all, you're just the very uniquest of snowflakes out there, for sure. You're definitely not a dime a dozen, but they will never do anything to impede the upward momentum of females' financial ambition. And it's always so funny that, you know, with all the 100+ years of feminism to get equal treatment in the workplace, what's the easiest thing that they do? Take their tits out. They always get naked, or at least imply their nudity. So that hasn't changed at all. Of course not, because that's going to end up making Twitch, the dying platform that it is, some sort of revenue. So until somebody comes a knocking and goes, hey, can you go ahead and knock this shit off, they're going to continue to do it, and they're continuing to get away with it. And well, I can only imagine where this nonsense is going to go after that, because you took the lead from a verified vagina connoisseur. We can just go ahead and say that. Somebody who's on a certain hub website. Okay? You pick up what I'm putting down. Okay? The one who started everything off with the halter top. Yeah, she's getting drilled out by all willing participants. But you guys are going to go ahead and curtail your policies in order to fit her needs and whims. Fantastic stuff. You deserve the platform that you've curated for yourself. So no more false starts on this one. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.